Hello guys, it's good to be back again. If you're meeting me for the first time, I'm Indigenous Genius. Welcome to another edition of Let's Talk. Today we'll be discussing terminologies that we are quite familiar with, but we'll be taking it as a whole in terms of how they are interconnected and they are habit, motivation, and commitment. These are things that we are quite familiar with, but we'll be taking them in context of how what they are and how they are interrelated with one another. And these are some of the articles I've written in the past, and I'm making them into videos, and many more are still to come. So I'm gonna drop the link of my WordPress page so you can always read up on some of my articles and get alert when they are dropped, and as well subscribe to our channel. Now diving straight into the topic of discussion. So habits, commitment, and motivation. Now habit, now these are things that we use every day, terminology we use every day, and we are quite familiar with what they mean. Things that we do every day. Habit, we are kind of used to it. It might not even be every day, but we do it often because it's now part of us. For example, you wake up in the morning and then you go to brush your teeth. You For example, maybe you are a person that read news every time. One of your daily schedule is reading news after waking up and things like that. So these are habits because they are now part of you. You get, for example, being a Muslim, you have to wake up. When you wake up, one of the first things you do in the morning around 5-6 is what you pray. Now habits does not need to you do not need motivation in most cases to do habits, because you just have to do it. For example, talking about prayer, whether I'm motivated or not, I just have to pray. Whether you are motivated or not, you just have to go in the morning and brush your teeth, and things like that. So you just have to go and take your bath. So you do not need commitment. You do not need motivation to do some of these things. It has become habit. But what we need to know that, however, we might tend to be lazy in putting these things, doing them. We might decide to delay them sometimes, like being tired, but you do not really need extra, you know, things before you get this thing done. Now, commitment on the other side is a kind of drive that we tend to put in place to do things. For example, I can be committed that every week or every 2 weeks I'm going to be, release videos, like this, or post on my WordPress page. It's a commitment. And or I'm going to read every 2 to 3 hours of my medical text because they're so voluminous and then I need to catch up. So these are commitments. Now when commitment becomes consistent, now it becomes an habit, because you would, depending on, if I say I'm going to read 2 to 3 hours consistently every day, now over time it becomes an habit because it has become part of me, because I do it every now and then. So commitment over time, when it becomes consistent, will become an habit. Now the same way we can commitment can be positive. We can be committed, to getting rid of negativity in our life. For example, if you are the kind of person that takes alcohol and you want to stop it, perhaps you've been taking 5 bottles and they say I want to commit to stop it, you can decide to say, okay, I was committed to take 3, then you one, and like so, just like we are committed into later becoming positive habits, we can be committed to taking away those negative habits as well. Now motivation is more like an extra push for us. You might be committed to something, but sometimes you just need this extra push, when you're just like, oh, what the hell is happening? You don't know, you are kind of down, you don't want to give that push. For example, I'm kind of tired to, get my phone, type my post, but because of the motivation I receive from people that, wow, we love you, or then you're motivated to what, continue to make that post. So this motivation will give you that extra push, like that. For example, you are committed to jogging, every weekend. Let's say every weekend. Now, for example, if you jog for 10 kilometers this week, now motivation can give you that extra push to say, oh, let me go ahead, let me add few kilometers to it, for the next weekend. So it is intertwined, and then we must kind of realize that these are important things that help us get things done. So habits, commitment, and motivation, they are key things and are important for our lives. So I hope that this is quite insightful, and beneficial to us. Do well to follow our page and subscribe, and then see you next time. Now remember to live your life, love yourself and love the people around you, and then continue to learn. Live, love, learn is one of my favorite quotes, and then I actually have an article on it, and most likely I'm going to make a video on it. So take care.